What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with a little bit of channel and gaming news. It is Saturday, so I hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. Lots of cool news and tidbits coming out on some games here the last few days. Just thought I would take a minute to comment on most of that stuff instead of doing separate videos on each one. Just figured it might be easier to just kind of do a kind of a longer chat video, just giving you guys all the information. And I got some channel stuff to talk about at the end too, so it gives me a good reason to make just a kind of a longer video here. Just some fun stuff going on. But first off, I just wanted to talk about something kind of funny I noticed last night. I was actually on eBay looking for a few things and came across the Destiny Taken King Collector's Edition on eBay. And this is pretty hilarious. It's actually going on eBay for well over $200, ranging. I saw them anywhere from 185 to 200 plus to 220. It's just crazy that people are getting that much money for what was an $80 collector's edition for a DLC, which is funny in its own right. But man, people are gouging on that big time, and unfortunately, it appears there is enough demand that people are actually able to sell it for that much. So I guess in a way that just shows that there's still a lot of people interested in Destiny despite all the stuff going on with it. Obviously, I made a couple of those videos over the weekend here, so you guys can check those out on the new weapon balance changes, on their little hiccups with Xur this Friday. But this video is not going to be for Destiny. I'm going to talk about some more positive things here. The first thing I wanted to touch on was No Man's Sky. Now, if you guys have watched any of my kind of general gaming videos, this is a game I've been following for a long time, a game I'm really looking excited for. This is an indie game. It's going to be on PC and PlayStation 4. It's basically this giant galaxy exploration game, which is going to be progressive and have like unlimited amounts of content in terms of planets you can go to, things you can find. You get to explore and find new things, and you actually get to claim them with your gamer tag so that other players can see all your achievements and see all the other spots you've explored. Now, there have been some kind of maybe some concerns as they've showed some footage of the game. I know a lot of people were concerned the graphics didn't look up to par with the current generation systems, and we're kind of wondering how it would look on the PC. They didn't really show much at E3 either that we hadn't already seen. But just recently, the other day, IGN actually got a kind of a first look video that they got to do with No Man's Sky. And they showed a lot of new stuff with it. It was a very long video. They just showed a couple new things, and they talked about the game. Now, I'm not going to link to that or actually put any of that footage here because there's actually a channel I follow, Say No to Rage. You guys probably know him, or if you don't, I'll link below to his channel so you can check him out. He's a very good YouTuber. Really like a lot of his videos that he does really good commentary, and he's also does a Twitch stream. Plays a lot of really fun and different games. But he actually made a video on this yesterday and had used IGN's the footage they had from No Man's Sky and linked to it, and they did a copyright claim on his video because they're basically trying to claim that this the footage that was given to them by the developer is their intellectual property, which it's not, and it's just IGN kind of being stupid. But obviously we don't want to draw anyone's ire, so we're gonna avoid that. But anyways, that aside, I did watch the video on IGN, and there's definitely some good things that we're seeing in it. First off, the graphics look much more polished, and this is an after E3 build for the game. The graphics look much better, much sharper. The planet environments, they showed 5 new planets on the game, and they looked very, very good. So really good news, I think, for anybody who's been waiting for this game. It's definitely something that we needed to see. That was one of my concerns, was the graphics, obviously. Now, I think the game, one of the debates I'm having about No Man's Sky is obviously I've got a PlayStation 4, but I don't know if I want to get it on PS4 or if I want to get it on a PC, but in which case I've been looking at getting a new PC, so that's something I probably have to do here. Anyways, if I want to keep getting them on PC. My PC is about 4 years old, and it's just, I've been updating the hardware on it as I go, but it's just one of those things where you basically, you have to eventually upgrade the processor and the motherboard and all that stuff because it's just after a couple of years, it's just obsolete. So that's the problem. Even though I have current graphics card and power supply and all that other junk, I'm still running on an old AMD processor that's about 4 years old. So that's, it's time to upgrade that at least. But so anyways, moving on, they did show in the video a lot of good stuff. There's dynamic weather on the planets. They showed one planet where it was just pouring rain, and that was pretty cool. There's all kinds of unique and different animals they have on each planet. Some are going to be threatening to you, some are not. You have the opportunity to actually kill the wildlife or just scare it with a warning shot. There's all kinds of things you can do there. Uh, but it's very interesting. Now, the game is going to feature a system sort of like Grand Theft Auto with the wanted level. You are actually able to kill wildlife and destroy structures on the planet you're on. But they have these guardians called sentinels that basically exist, and they will come after you, and they will basically hunt you down. They can kill you, or they'll just kind of deter you for a little bit if your wanted level's not very high. But they can kill you definitely, and it's going to be kind of a consequence thing. You know, you could destroy things and kill things for resources, but you have to risk the possibility of the sentinels coming after you. So, kind of a very interesting system they're going to have there, and still, definitely going to be a very very cool feature of the game, and that you can interact with the environments you're in, and but there are consequences. Now, they did show also there's all kinds of neat things you can do in the environments, like if you have you can upgrade your equipment as you go through the game. You'll be able to upgrade the kind of the spacesuit you have and your tools, your weapons. You'll get like a digging tool. And they said one of the cool things you can do with the digging laser is you can actually find caverns and caves and other things underground on the maps that you otherwise wouldn't see. And there's all kinds of resources and stuff below them, but you might also find really dangerous enemies and things that you can't kill and things that will kill you. And there are going to be consequences for death in the game. You will get trapped on planets until you can find enough resources to get another ship. And there's also going to be basically if you die, you lose all your discoveries. So that's going to be kind of a pain. Is like if you die in the game and you lose all the discoveries you had, since that's a big part of the game in terms of your recognition for other players. That's gonna put quite a damper on it, and it's gonna kind of put a consequence in the game for exploration, which is kind of how it works in real life. So that's pretty cool, especially with space exploration. So definitely worth checking out, you guys. All you got to do is just type in Google No Man's Sky IGN, and you'll be able to find that video if you guys want to go check that out. Like I said, I'm not going to link to it below, given how they were treating some of the other channels with the footage and trying to act like it's their own. I don't want to have to worry about that, so I'm sure you guys can go find that, no problem. It'll be a big deal. But definitely cool to get some news on No Man's Sky. Like I said, that's one of the games I've really been looking forward to, especially on the next gen. Since we do need some better and more innovative games, and I think that's definitely something that's going to be really cool. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about Halo 5 for a little bit here. As you guys know, I've been updating news on Halo 5 quite often. I'm looking forward to Halo 5, and even though I am cautiously optimistic about it, given 343's issues they've had with the franchise so far, they really do seem to be doing a pretty good job so far with with everything they're doing with Halo 5. Now, of course, I reported in one of my other videos, one of the issues was that there's this big $250 collector's edition, and it didn't come with a physical game disc. Now, a lot of the fans were really upset about this, and a lot of people were really complaining about this, and just not very happy. And so what happened is 343's actually come out and they said, given the fan feedback, we understand we didn't do this the proper way. And they're now giving all the people who purchased the $250 collector's edition the opportunity. You can trade in your digital code, and they will give you, basically give you a physical game disc for free. There's no charge. You have to go to Halo Waypoint and put in the code and do a few things, and so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool on 343. Good for them. Good on them for that. And again, it's one of those things where I do give 343 a lot of crap sometimes on my channel for the way they've handled Master Chief Collection and other things. But at the same time, they really are. They seem to be doing a pretty good job of trying to rebuild that faith in the community and all that. It seems like they are really trying to do a better job. And so I have to commend them for that. And anytime they make a mistake, they come out and they talk about it, and they've actually talked about how the community, they're taking their feedback into account, and it's really kind of nice. And this is just another example of them doing something, trying to make up for a mistake they made. So as I've said a couple times with 343, I really do hope they get Halo 5 right, because it seems like at this point they almost really They almost deserve to at this point, given the way they try to, they're trying to basically help the community along. So that's some pretty cool stuff on Halo 5. So if you're one of those people who was worried about the collector's edition and not being able to get that physical game disc, you can get that now, which is really nice. Also, another little tidbit on Halo 5, it is going to run at 60 frames per second, which is good news. There's one of the big problems we've had so far with the next gen games is that we just haven't really seen much that takes advantage of the new hardware on either Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Now, they haven't said yet if it's going to be 1080p, which I really hope it is, because that's another thing. A lot of the Xbox games have been in, 900p or some crap. It hasn't been really all that great. So hopefully we'll get some news on that soon. But as of right now, at least we are getting 60 frames per second for the gameplay. That will be really good, and a lot of people who have played the Halo 5, the actual content in the game at E3 or whatever, have commented that 60 frames per second feels really smooth, really good, and that they've been unable to go back and play other games that are on 30 frames per second because it just feels so slow and sluggish. So that's a good thing. Hopefully that means we're finally stepping it up with the technology. And the nice thing with Halo 5 also is that it's optimized for next generation, which a lot of these games, like even the new Call of Duty, is still going to be on last gen. Destiny's still on last gen. So there's a lot of games that are coming out that are still going to be going on both generations, which unfortunately does hold back the current generation titles just a little bit. So, good news there on Halo 5. Now, the other game I wanted to talk about was Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, we haven't really gotten a whole lot of news on these games, because obviously they just announced Mass Effect Andromeda at E3, and BioWare has always been a little cryptic about Mass Effect in general. They don't really give out much detail. But there has been kind of a leaked timeline, so to speak, and I'll link you guys down below. You can go check it out. Now, this is not officially from BioWare, but it looks pretty legit, and it goes into detail how Mass Effect Andromeda is going to follow along the Mass Effect 3 timeline, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to just kind of give you guys some of the backstory here that they're supposedly going with. Now, this Mass Effect Andromeda, the events leading up to it actually take place alongside Mass Effect 3, which is pretty cool. Starting right when the humans find the Prothean artifacts on Mars. And very, very interesting stuff here. They're basically saying that the humans find a device called the Ark when they find the Prothean remains. And when they find the Ark, they basically cannot decipher it because it's too encrypted with Prothean encryption, and but they are definitely trying to figure out what it is and what's going on with it. And then, of course, the Reaper War happens, and they're not able to do much with it. Eventually, they talk about how Admiral Hackett brings in some Turian and Solarian and Asari scientists to kind of help out with it. But originally, the Ark is a human find, and they're trying to keep it all top secret. Well, it turns out, as Shepard and his crew go through the events of Mass Effect Trilogy, and they find out, of course, obviously, if you guys have played Mass Effect Trilogy, you know that you go through and you find out a ton of stuff about the Protheans. As they find out more about the Protheans, get more information, they basically find some of the unlocked ciphers and other things so that the scientists are able to take a look at the Ark and actually open it up and figure out what's in it. Well, what they discover is that the Ark is actually a pathway to another galaxy, which leads to Andromeda, which is where the game is going to take place. So in a way, it's a little bit like Stargate. I guess if you guys have seen the movie Stargate, pretty cool. So that's what they're gonna be going for the backstory, apparently. Now, again, this is not BioWare official, but it still seems fairly legit given the amount of detail that was put into this timeline. So what they say is when they discovered this with the Ark, and then obviously the Reapers attack and are taking everything over, they decide, well, you know what, we've got the Ark, and we're going to go ahead and use this as a backup plan in case everything fails. We've got a way to basically defend humanity and ensure that humanity continues to survive, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's going to be very interesting, and they formed this Ark contingency plan to basically escape and get to get to the Andromeda galaxy and get away from the Reapers. So it's like their backup contingency plan. You know, they want to, you know, they're going to try to get away from the Reapers. And so this is in place if the Crucible fails, if Shepard can't complete his mission. So what they end up doing is they create an Ark flotilla, which is a bunch of ships they have, and they're going to use this flotilla to escape to the next galaxy, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. So it shows that there was a contingency plan going on in the background, kind of top secret. So what happens is during the final battle, when you're, you know, when you're fighting off Harbinger and they're bringing in the Crucible to fire the Crucible, they apparently jump the gun a little bit and they don't think the battle's going well, so they send the flotilla through the Ark. Well, something happens and the Ark gets destroyed and the flotilla winds up trapped in the Andromeda galaxy. They have no communication back to the Milky Way. They have no way to get back to the Milky Way in terms of travel, obviously. And so they have no way of knowing what actually happened. They don't know if the Reapers won. They don't know if the Crucible worked. They're basically refugees in this new galaxy from the Reaper War. So your role as what they're calling the Pathfinders is what you're going to play. Your role is to basically go through and then try to find a new home for humanity and try to you know, fix what happened and find a new place for humanity and try to get communication back up with the Milky Way galaxy so you can let those people know what you guys found and what's there, and then hopefully they can come through, or you can find out, you know, what happened with the Reaper War. So it's going to be interesting how they tie that all in with sort of the original trilogy. Now, of course, they've said it's not going to have Shepard, and we don't know if any characters are going to be recurring. I think it would be kind of cool if they did bring in some newer characters, because obviously there are plenty of characters in the Mass Effect trilogy who have very long lifespans. If you think about the Asari, the Krogan, the Turians, they can all live a very long time, in upwards of 500,000 years. So, you know, this game is taking place, the events prior to it take place alongside the Mass Effect trilogy, apparently. So it'd be kind of neat to see if they did cross over some of those characters somehow, just to kind of give a little throwback to, you know, to the older games. So that would be pretty neat. Anyways, guys, that's about it for gaming news this weekend. Just obviously, if I get any more little tidbits on any of these games I'm looking forward to, I will, of course, let you guys know. Now, I can tell you for No Man's Sky, that is definitely a game I am probably going to be picking up and covering from the get-go. I'll probably just do a bunch of Let's Plays with that game, just when I just get on and go around and explore things. I know the goal of the game is to get to the center of the galaxy, but honestly, when I get that game, I'm not going to be focused at all on trying to get through it. I'm going to be focused on basically trying to just explore everything and find a bunch of stuff and just have a lot of fun with it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited about it. And, you know, let me know down below if you guys are looking forward to it as well. So anyways, guys, that's about it for the gaming news. Now, one other thing I did want to touch on before I get off of this video is that I did over the last few days hit 700 subscribers. I'm up to, I believe, 715. About a week and a half ago, I was only around 500. So, guys, this is just incredible. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers, all the continued support in the comments. As I always say, I'm not doing YouTube as a way to make money or for a living or anything. That's not my goal, but just to kind of have some fun with gaming and you know, bring you guys some gaming news and whatever else, commentary. But I still appreciate all the support, appreciate all the subs coming in. It's really, as I always say, very humbling to see that many people actually come and listen to me ramble on the internet. So very cool, guys, very cool. I think a lot of those came from some of those Taken King videos, but there's also been a lot of backlash on those, but that's just part of it. That's what happens when you're on the internet. But anyways, guys, like I said, thank you so much for these 700 subscribers. Really great. Really appreciate it. And like the fact that we're starting to get a lot of comments and discussions on the videos. You know, that's one of the fun things, is as long as it's civil and nobody's telling anybody to go F themselves and just being a troll, it's great to have that discussion. Whether you agree with the points being made or not, it's always good to talk about things in a civil and intelligent manner. So always enjoy that. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys, again, are having a great weekend. I'll probably have a couple more videos coming up. I'm actually going to be doing a video with Destiny, which is going to be more of a positive video. I'm actually going to be talking about how they could fix PvP in Destiny and make it just really good and make it so that they don't have to continually destroy PvE weapons and nerf PvE stuff just to please the PvP crowd. So I might try to do that video tomorrow or before the weekend's over, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, guys, hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.